The Broncos are going to lose today. That is a stupid idea.
Jackson is not a top 5, not even a top 10 quarterback.
Madden 21 was so bad.
Used Game Store and bought a PlayStation 3 to play the old NCAA
Talking
games.
about, wanting to inspire and like I'm inspired right now. I want to run through a brick wall for you right now.
Mountain after mountain to make this dream come a reality.
We don't see it, just because we don't feel it, doesn't mean he's not working.
Exactly. And, man, I want to thank you, first of all. We didn't really talk in the beginning, but, that's my boy, that dude 2020. I like the name. Where was the name?
By LeBron James on
and
Twitter.
it really wasn't that difficult at the time, or the ball when you hit the ground, and he didn't.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to That One Dude 2020 right on the MI6 Sports Network. Enjoy the show. God bless.
What is up, folks? Another episode of That One Dude 2020 on the MI6 Sports Network. I know this one's kind of been a thing in the making, but Phillip, my man, how are we doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing good, folks. Again, a lot talking about football. If you don't know who he is, he's doing like sports management, does a lot of evaluation of players coming up into the draft, and really getting to see kind of what you do and how that works. And I think people probably don't realize how much work goes into that. It's not just looking at a player and saying, oh, he's fast, he does this. All the work day by day that you've been doing, and definitely is something that's very interesting.
Well, sports medicine worldwide, been a football scout. You have to evaluate talent. You have to look at a lot of games. And for me, how I get the sleepers, and because I was for example, I was evaluating Zaven Collins, and I seen Richie Grant, and it was like, whoa, who was this guy? He kept on getting interceptions, and he was everywhere over the field. So I said, okay, that's another guy I'm gonna evaluate. So it's just when you evaluate one guy, it might be someone that just takes all the excitement from that guy, and you see like somebody like Richie Grant, who was probably, in my opinion, is a top three free safety in this draft class this year.
Without a doubt, man. Can't wait till the 2021 draft. Again, we know somebody here on this network that is so sure that Zach Wilson is going to the San Francisco 49ers. But I got to ask you, man, a lot of people have their own journey or their own story, but what really got you interested and passionate about the sports world?
Well, football is my passion. And I love the teamwork, the camaraderie, and I love that, especially in the draft process, we miss guys. Like how did Cam Curl for the Washington football team get picked up in the 7th round, and his stats are actually better than the safety for the Buccaneers. I forgot his name. His name's on my mind.
Whitehead or Winfield or Antonio Winfield?
Winfield, yeah, Winfield. Yeah, his stats are actually better than Winfield. So and that's the passionate thing. I want to just see those small school guys or guys that got overlooked. Cam Curl was at Arkansas and SEC, but no one actually took him serious except for the Washington football team. And then here he is with probably the top 3 defense in the league, Chase Young. So that's my passion, right? Just evaluating players and bringing in the best talent I can.
Without a doubt, man, I wish people would have the same passion and knowledge about football here. But I guess you have that perfect example, that 7th round pick. You got their rookie running back in Washington, who wasn't really a guy that people really talked about going into the 2020 season. Of course, he lights it up. But man, I see that you're part of this. I believe it's called the East West Football Network. For anybody that doesn't know, like who or what they are, what could you tell us about that?
The East West Football Network is actually all sports network, and they just evaluate talent. They talk about what's going on in the leagues, and it's a great network, and they get great analysts like Ryan Clark, Trey Wingo, but I don't know why these names are getting out of my head, but yeah, but Trey Wingo and ESPN analysts on the show, so it's a very good network.
Even though you're still like you're working on the career, you're building all these friendships here. What is probably the most humbling lesson you have learned since working in the world of football?
That's a good question. The best lesson I've learned is uh, my point of view isn't the best point of view because your eyes is different from my eyes. So you might see a linebacker such as Parsons, Penn State. You might say, okay, Phillip, he's the best linebacker in this draft. I might say, okay, I think Zayvon Collins is the best linebacker in this draft. Now we come game day, Parsons might light it up, and my guy might do he might be let's say 7 tackles and an interception, where Parsons gets like 5 sacks or some crazy number, and you have the better evaluation. That happens a lot, such as in my Washington football, well, growing up in DC. Um, a great scenario would be Terry McLaurin. Okay, so Terry McLaurin went in the 4th round, and DK Metcalf went in the 1st round. So you put their stats together. Okay, DK Metcalf is right now better receiver. Will has a better quarterback, I should say. Terry McLaurin is putting up monster numbers also. Better route runner. He's not a monster freaking nature like DK, but okay, so it's evaluation. So if you just say, hey, Terry McLaurin, hey Phil, Terry McLaurin's a 1st round pick, I'd be like, no, his stats doesn't match up, but he gets in the league and he's one of the best receivers in the league. That's what I've learned. Like, okay, my evaluation and your evaluation might be different. We might have the same or similar traits on how we evaluate, but your eyes and your perspective might be different from my perspective. That's my biggest thing. Talent is talent, but it's we don't know who's going to be the best uh, coming into the league. It's like basketball. See, you might have said Steph Curry, he's going to be a good player, but you didn't know Steph Curry was going to be all world, all time, the best. But it's just evaluation. That's the lesson I've learned.
Exactly, my man. Because you look at Decap, who was kind of frustrated, I believe, in the 2019 NFL draft. He's like, "Man, I'm not getting picked. I'm getting pissed." And lo and behold, this pot of gold, you go to Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. And then you talk about Terry McLaurin and that talent, but I mean, look at it here: 2,000 yards in his first 2 years, averaging over 1,000 yards the first 2 years, folks. He's had Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, and we know what happened with him. He's had Tyler Heineke in the playoffs. He's had so many different quarterbacks. But I got to ask you, though, man, why do you think certain guys like Terry McLaurin and other guys like you saw, like Gibson with Washington, tend to get overlooked either in the draft or when they first enter the NFL?
And then we look at competition. Now Terry had different guys on his team, wide receivers, and it's hard to evaluate sometimes when you're not getting the play time and the stats. What Jay Gruden at that time seeing in training camp, this guy runs crisp routes, and then he runs a 4.3. Okay, but let's see if he has the hands. And you keep throwing to him. Okay, he has some good rack to him, some yards out to catch. So that Terry was really a diamond in the rough. Now Gibson was really a freaking nature. You get 6 feet, 6'1", 230, 4.39, and he can play the slot. So you think you'll say, oh, okay, in the Senior Bowl we put him at running back. He can run between the tackles. Okay, let's see how he runs in the game. once he got in the first game, you see the Eagles game, you see that his vision wasn't there. But when he made the correct read, the correct hold to run through, you say, "Oh, okay, I see what they're talking about now." If you put Antonio Gibson, you motion him to the slat, or you have a, let's say you're in a shotgun formation, and he and Antonio Gibson runs out for on a flat or a comeback route or whatever out the backfield, and it's like a receiver because he played mostly receiver in Memphis. That's dangerous. That's the Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey type of dangerous that you want on your team. Because if I'm a linebacker, I'm like, okay, they're in a run play. Oh, okay. Or I'm a safety. Okay, they're about to throw. But if I have a running back that runs yards like a receiver, I mean that runs routes like a receiver, that puts more pressure on the defense. Now you got to scheme a little bit different.
Man, I wish more people would kind of know about that because, man, I got to ask you though. Like, we talk about the draft, and somebody comes in to say, do you think the San Francisco 49ers are going to draft Mac Jones at number 3?
I could see it happening because Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins and how Kyle Shanahan made their games go to the next level. What I like about Mac Jones, pre-snap reads, perfect. Accuracy, especially in the intermediate, short intermediate, perfect. Mobility, not so much. The strongest arm, not so much. But Alex Smith can win like that. Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan has an arm, but Matt Ryan is a stationary quarterback. You can win like that. Um, but I think Kyle Shanahan is kind of throwing a smoke screen at. I think he wants Trey Lance or Justin Fields just because of the athletic ability and what Kyle Shanahan does with his game. You don't have to be the best quarterback with the football IQ in Kyle Shanahan's offense because RG3's first year, Kyle Shanahan was the offense coordinator. Shanahan was the head coach. They schemed that offense around him, and he was unstoppable until he got the ACL injury. If you can give that same scheme with that mobility and arm strength with Trey Lance, and he already has the read pre-snap read IQ because that's what they do at North Dakota State. Carson Wentz also had that program. They run a pro style offense. That's a dangerous offense with Debo, with Kittle, with the running backs they have, with that zone scheme running. Oh, that's dangerous. With play action, you get Trey Lance in that offense. I'm scared. I'm like, if I'm a defense coordinator, I'm like, okay. You got Ayuk. I forgot it. I know I'm butchering his name, but the
Very
wide
nice.
receiver.
It's hard to
Oh yeah,
pronounce.
yeah. And that's a dangerous. That's an offense that's gonna keep you on your heels all day. But Mac Jones, I can see why he likes Mac Jones. Mac Jones is pro ready right now. You put him on offense right now and say, look, I need you to take the snap from under the center. I need you to pre-snap reads. I need you to tell your offensive lineman how to slide the blocking scheme. I need you to do that. He's ready. But does he have that arm strength that you love? Does he mobile out the pocket? He's mobile in the pocket. He has good mobility in the pocket. He slides. He slides up. He gets out of danger. But if you put Trey Lance in that offense, that's something special.
I know somebody on the sports network that I'm with is going to be raging hard because he's like Zach Jones, and that's where I think folks were he made the surprise. He's trading to the third overall pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got Trey Lance or Mac Jones, regardless of how I don't like Alabama because they beat Texas in 2009. Thank you a lot, Nick Saban. But you see the same type of quarterback where they offered contract to Kaepernick, they offered that, but try to get Matt Ryan. Of course, I don't know how true that was to try to get Cousins. Of course, he went to Washington, and now it's with Minnesota. It's a type of quarterback that he wants. Why all of a sudden would he change it, man? This guy on this network, man, he just wants Zach Jones, but man, he's gonna he's gonna rage hard on air when they don't draft Zach Wilson. It's gonna be very hilarious though. But I gotta ask you that, like you said, you talk about evaluating talent regardless of who did they play or who did they not play in college, but specifically talking about the quarterback position. Somebody asked, what are some qualities that you look for in an NFL quarterback that people probably overlook?
Pre-snap reads. Um, the pre-snap is very important because it's just like with Peyton Manning. Okay, Peyton Manning's bread and butter was he knew where the defense was. He knew where the defense was trying to attack. He'll go to the line. He'll scan the defense. Okay, this guy's blitzing. Okay, then a cover two. Okay, this is going down here. If you have that evaluation, well, not evaluation of football IQ, when you come when the ball snap, or before the ball snap, I mean, and you can have a clue of what the defense is doing, that gives you advantage. Because now I can tell my running back I can give a signal to my running back to, okay, go on the flat. I can tell my receivers, hey, go on the option route. I could audible, I could do whatever I want to do. So pre-snap is the first thing that's important to me. Mobility out the pocket. I really like just like Zach Wilson. I like Zach Wilson a lot. Why? Because he can get out of trouble and he can get some extra yards for you. He has the arm talent. The arm talent is ridiculous, and he can dodge blitzes and slip tackles, and the mobility is very important to me, and the arm strength. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is taking it to another level with his arm strength. His arm is that we've never seen anything like that. In the Super Bowl, he's literally dived and threw a pass, and it was accurate. If the guy just catches the ball, it's a touchdown. So that is a very big trait for me for a quarterback. So big arm, mobility, and pre-snap read.
Regardless, folks, we think about Mac Jones. I can appreciate his story, though, literally DMing recruits to not being a first round pick. But gotta ask you, though, man, why do you think certain like you talk about the talent in the pre-snap? Who do you think out of this draft, right, regards to quarterback, running back, tight end, or the people you've evaluated, would be the most underrated player in this year's draft?
That's a good question. Most underrated. The most underrated player in this draft, I think, is going to be Kellen Mond, quarterback, Texas A&M. If you look at the level of competition, now was he trailblazing first year, second year? No, but he's gradually gotten better. And if you see it this year, going against LSU, going into what was it, triple overtime? It was like 72 something. Going against Clemson defense, going against Ole Miss defense, going against Florida. Arm talent there, mobility there, accuracy there, pre-snap read there. Does he stare receivers down here and there? You can fix that. That can be fixed. Does he have a quick release? Ridiculous quick release. They get you out of trouble. That's something I love about Kirk Cousins. You couldn't blitz him. Kirk Cousins would just flick it out real fast and keep the chains moving. Kellen Mond is very, 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 very underrated in this draft. I have him. Okay, for my list is obviously Lawrence, Wilson. I'm gonna say Mac, Mond, Fields, Trey Lance. Reason why I like Mac went against the top competition. Reason why I like Mon went against top competition. And Mac is pro ready right now. Mon you have to work a little bit with, but Mon's athletic ability will get him some time. So Kellen Mond is yeah, that's my guy.
You do have a point there, but some people are kind of saying like, yes, Mac Jones beat against top talent, but then there's the other side of the argument, man, where look at all the talent he had. Look who won the Heisman. He had the receiver win the Heisman. He had all this talent, but what do you say to counter the argument? Yes, he had the top talent on offense and defense. Yes, Ohio State had some injuries, but how do you think that will play with him in the NFL, despite playing with that type of talent in college football?
Okay, if I was a GM right now, and let's say if I was Washington, you have Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, and you can draft a receiver in the second round if you go get Mac Jones. You're giving Mac Jones the same thing he had in college. 4-3-5, 4-3-1, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson. Let's say you go get Kadarius Toney. I think he's gonna be a first round pick, but let's say he slips. Kadarius Toney in the second round, or you get Dwayne Eskridge, wide receiver, second round. Now you got 4-3, or better yet, Rondell Moore. So you got 4-3, 4-2, 4-3. Same thing in college. What's the difference? What's the difference? I mean, if you talk about the defenses now, yeah, the defense is gonna be a little bit tight. Those windows are gonna get tighter. Those linebackers are going to be a little bit faster, but you can coach him up. He has what it takes now, and he has the accuracy to be a great quarterback. I just think you need to surround him with the talent. Now, if he goes somewhere like who I don't like, Carolina, no, actually no, Carolina will be good. Carolina has the talent. Um, they'll be good. He'll be good in Carolina, but they got Sam Bradford. I mean Sam Darnold. But if you go somewhere, let's see who doesn't have the best talent offensively. Uh, let's say the Eagles. Let's just say the Eagles because they just lost a lot of receivers. Their offensive lines beat up. Rager, he was injured off and on. I don't think that'd be a good spot for him. Let's say if he goes to Miami. You go, you got Tua. I don't. That's not going to happen. You got Tua. They invested. Maybe, but I think you need to surround him with hearts and fast receivers like he's used to take it to the next level.
Gotta ask you though. I know you talk about evaluating talent at the quarterback position. I was one of the people that said I'm not sold on Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback, regardless if it's injuries or inaccuracy. We understand, it's a rookie year, but folks, this is the NFL. This isn't college football where you can massage your feet and clean out your ears. Do you think the criticism of Tua Tagovailoa as a starting quarterback would be fair, or am I just kind of like Rob Parker says, poo-pooing him as an NFL quarterback?
I like Tua. He did he wow me this year? No, but I think you need to just give him some time to get acclimated, and again he can learn. That takes the coaching. He can learn more and work on accuracy this off season. You can tailor the offense more to him. Do the play action, read RPOs, and just tailor that team to him, and then he'll get better. Surround him with more receivers. I would love for Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase to be a pick for them. You already got a nice tight end. Get some more running backs probably in the second round. Surround him with talent. I think you'll see. I think you'll see more out of Tua. Was he deadly accurate this year? No. But he can get out of trouble with his legs, and you can tailor that offense for him. And what my perspective on it is, I've seen it happen with when Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback with the 49ers. I've seen it happen with RG3. I seen it even happen with Andrew Luck when Pat Hamilton was offensive coordinator. We said, okay, we're not going to let you throw crazy. We're going to run the ball, cut half the field, get you acclimated slowly. Then he slowly open up the offense for Andrew Luck. Then Andrew Luck started getting comfortable. That's what I think you need to do with Tua. So.
Yeah, so then, man, just getting that knowledge of football is definitely something that I love, man. You're getting that knowledge and just you talk about, man, that gets me definitely want to get fired up and to talk more about football in the future. But my last question too, man, before we end this is, of course, you've been in this for a while. You're working at it. If you could give any advice to anybody that wants to work in the sports media industry or to do what you're doing, what would your piece of advice be for them?
The peaceful advice I would give to them is believe in your talent. Believe in your talent, work hard, and just be dedicated. And uh, when I got into the sports world per se, um, I knew that I had a gift and a talent to evaluate. I knew I love football, and it shows in my evaluations. It shows in my scouting reports. It shows when I write a uh, scouting report or write up on a player. And when I talk to football people such as yourself, and we go back and forth with ideas or questions, I know I belong because I because of the evaluation and because I played this game in high school. I love this game. I'm obsessed with football, and it's not just stats to me. Obviously, it's competition and it's teamwork. It's how this person fits in the offense, and that's what I love what they're doing in Washington right now because they're not picking players like how they used to. Oh, we're going to throw $100 million Albert Hainsworth into a 3-4 defense when he doesn't want to play in a 3-4 defense. No, we're going to put Curtis Samuel in the offense. He already knows. He doesn't have to learn the offense. He's been in his offense. So we're going to get Antonio Gibson, who has the skill set of Christian McCaffrey. So it'll be an easier transition coming out the backfield, going in the zone. Or we're going to get a Cam Curl or a Chase Young to fit an already monstrous defensive line. So, I mean, I love putting the pieces together and putting in making not making but putting people who fit the system. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force you to fit the system. Now there's some players you get them, they're going to fit. I think DK Metcalf couldn't have been in any offense. I mean, come on. I mean, he 6'4", runs a 4. I mean, come on, he can fit in any offense he wants to. But if it's someone like Terry McLaurin who fits a West Coast offense or who fits a pro style offense where you have to run those sophisticated routes, I love that process too. So that's what my thing is: fit the system, um, and get those diamond in the roughs. I mean, this year wide receiver class is ridiculous. Amari Rogers is ridiculous. You can put him at running back, slot, X, whatever, Z, whatever. Rondell Moore, again, ridiculous offensive talent. I think that's where the league is going with the Curtis Samuels and the Debo Samuels, those type of receivers who can do it all. And we're seeing the transition of athletes like Antonio Gibson, Kamara, and Christian McCaffrey. Now, those running backs are ridiculous to me. Christian McCaffrey, if you line him up anywhere, I'm like, okay, what is he doing? Is he going to go? Is he going to run a post? Is he going to go back and do a jet sweep? Is he going to go on a wildcat? They're going to switch up anything. So I think the league is offensively is just catering to athletes and finally being more creative on offense, in my opinion.
I love it, man, when somebody like myself is that passionate about football. Of course, man, we just met, but months ago when the Cowboys had that incident with Andy Dalton, I was shouting. I was very, let's just say, lack of word, very frustrated here. I woke up. I think I almost woke up the neighbors. I woke up my parents. They literally came in during the show, telling me to keep it down because that type of passion. But folks, like we always do, my man. Before we go, we're going to today's final thoughts. And thank you so much, man, for coming on. Do you have any shout outs for the sports network you're working with or your career or anything else of the sort?
Just shout out to Sports Measure Worldwide and East West Football Network. Those guys gave me a chance to showcase my skills, and I'm just thankful to just showcase my skills and thankful to that one dude 2020. You're the man, and you gave me my first. This is my first actually. I was a little nervous. My first broadcast, I should say. So this was fun, and I would love to be on the show some more.
For sure, man. You're never gonna meet somebody that is more passionate about football. Not Stephen A. Smith, not any of these other people. Again, Phillip Smith, the link down below will be for his stuff. Again, thank you so much, man, for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
What is up, y'all?
The Broncos are going to lose today. That is a stupid idea.
Jackson is not a top 5, not even a top 10 quarterback.
Madden 21 was so bad.
Used Game Store and bought a PlayStation 3 to play the old NCAA.
Talking
games.
about, wanting to inspire and like I'm inspired right now. I want to run through a brick wall for you right now.
Mountain after mountain to make this dream come a reality.
We don't see it just because we don't feel it doesn't mean he's not working.
Exactly. And, man, I want to thank you, first of all. We didn't really talk in the beginning, but, that's my boy, that dude 2020. I like the name.
By LeBron James on
and
Twitter.
it really wasn't that difficult at the time, the ball when you hit the ground. And he didn't.